Okay, my analogy with what we did here, we add these. To do that, we multiply numerator and denominator of this fraction by the denominator of this fraction. We get this times this. And we multiply numerator and denominator of this fraction by the denominator of this fraction, giving us this. And now we see that our denominators are going to match. Well, we then do the multiplication. It's just going to be x plus 1 times x plus 5, x minus 2 times x minus 4. Denominator both is going to be x minus 4 times x plus 5, although the order is different here. So these denominators are the same because multiplication is commutative. It doesn't matter in which order we multiply these two expressions. So both numerators then would go over that same denominator. So it would be this numerator plus this numerator over this common denominator, and that's what we have. Now we do this multiplication, not by superstition, not by any trick, by the distributive law, because that's the one thing that can't be confused if you understand it, and that you really are not likely to forget if you do enough of it. So x plus 1 times x plus 5 is x times x plus 5 plus 1 times x plus 5. That's what I've written here. X minus 2 times x minus 4 is x times x minus 4 minus 2 times x minus 4, and that's what I've written here. I don't multiply the denominator out for reasons that we'll see when we get to the end. Now, x times x plus 5 is what? X times x plus x times 5. X times x plus x times 5. Okay? And 1 times x plus 5 is 1 times x plus 1 times 5, which I've written here. X times x minus 4 is x times x minus x times 4. And minus 2 times x minus 4 is minus 2 times x minus minus 2 times 4. That's the way I've written this. Then x times x is x squared. We get an x squared here. We get an x squared here. X times 5 is 5x. 1 times x is x. Negative x times 4 is negative 4x. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. And negative 2 times 4 is positive 8. Then, denominator is still what it was. X squared and x squared gives us 2x squared. For x's, we have 5x and x, which makes 6x. But then we have minus 4x and minus 2x, which is negative 6x, giving us 0x, which doesn't really have to be written out. I've written it out here to be sure that we've accounted for the x terms. Then 5 plus 8 is 13. And then we write that over the denominator. And that then is just 2x squared plus 13 divided by the denominator. Now, the reason I've kept the denominator factored is that sometimes the numerator you get here might factor. And it might even be that one or more of the factors in your numerator matches one or more of the factors in your denominator, so that you would have to divide those factors out. In this case, the numerator doesn't factor. Now, we'll talk later about how we can be sure that this numerator doesn't factor, but it doesn't. So now we can multiply the denominator out, and we end up with our numerator divided by x squared plus x minus 20, which is what we get when we apply the distributive law to this denominator. Now, when you write these out completely, I want to see all these steps. But if you've done all the steps for the numerator, I'll trust you to get it right on the denominator. So at this point, you don't have to go through the entire expression of the distributive law, as long as you're careful to do it right.